In this video, I am actually going to show you how to deal with the problem of right above my head, you see all that melty. Well, we need some heat shields. So that's what I have taken time to build, and I'm going to show you how to do it too. What we're starting with now is the parts that we plasma cut out. They're just raw. We'll lay them out, or we're gonna shape them up and get at it. Now that we have these cut out, we need to prep them. And when you go to prep stuff, there's one thing that you really kind of want to think about is, what is the finished thing gonna look like? How am I gonna treat this? So the aluminum I have doesn't have a backer on it or anything, which lots does have a peel and stick. So this is brushed aluminum, and the location of these, the exhaust is going to be polished, but these, where they are, we're just going to lay them out, shape them, not worried about it. We're going to give it a quick brush finish and put it back on. It's going to look really good. Nobody is actually going to see the finished product as per se, unless they're nose dragging the car, which, yeah, probably will get nose dragged. What we need to do is take and just lay this out. It is not a big deal. We got to remember, this is the part that goes up in the car, and we need to fold these edges down. So I am going to be just laying this out, ½ inch. Another option we can use is, I have this vernier caliper. By the way, I love vernier calipers. I have this set to ½ inch, so I can't use it for around the corner, but throw a quick mark on there, probably easier than fighting with that tape measure, even though it's not a fight, just another option. So I can see the scribed line pretty easily. I want to make sure that I can see that line very good. Now these are going to go down. So we're going to have to mark it on the other side to break it. So what we're going to do, we'll lay this all out, then we're going to bead roll it. And we do have the clearance in the bead roller to deal with this if it was broke before or after. I just prefer not to. I'm just going to lay a border around this. We'll go, I don't know, we'll say 3/4 inch. This angle finder, it's about 3/4 inch wide. It's gonna be nice. Don't need to get too fancy with this. The reason we're actually doing this is because we want it to be stiff. If I put this together and I don't put some sort of a stiffener in this, what we're going to end up with is something that is going to flop in the wind. So one thing we need to remember when we're doing this is going to be on a curve. I'm putting stiffening lines here. So I have to hand shape this because it's going to be hard to shape. I'll show you what I mean. I built this tool years and years and years ago. Absolutely love it. For radiuses now I see online, I think Eastwood sells these. There's probably some other companies that sell these. Way back in the day, the oil field is where this one came up. So I'm using 1.5 inches radius here, which is going to cause a funky curve here. So I will make a tighter radius on one side of this. Around here, this is all going to be a little bit tighter, just because I can. I don't want to change everything in this. I think I'm going to kind of copy this shape over here. We'll get rid of the inside one. So I don't think, after we have this stiffener, like this is really light aluminum, I don't think we're going to have to yeah, maybe we will run a bead, 2 beads, something like that. Doesn't really matter where we put these beads. I'm just gonna use good round numbers. So she's 12 inches wide. This is gonna be the center of the bead. I'm running them this way because it's going to be easier to shape after, because these beads are going to add some serious stiffening to this. So if I did it this way, it'd be hard to curve this thing even more hard than with these stiffening lines in it. Stay about 1.5 inches off of that. I'm just putting a line across here so I can see with the bead roller where to stop. Okay, I think we're laid out. It's gonna be time to take it over and do some work. I'm hoping this is going to give you a better view of what I got going on when I bead roll. So I'm actually going to, so if you put it in the bead roller, so this is a set of step dies, and I'm allowing a fairly large step. So when you're doing it, you can pick whichever side of the step you're going to use as a line. It's going to move it over. So if you bead roll this right in the middle there, you're going to be looking on the top of the inside of this because you can't see this bead roller. Or you're going to be putting a line on this edge. Whatever you do, just make it consistent. Doesn't matter. And if you're doing 2 pieces like I am here, you're going to want to make sure that you do them the same. Even though on this car, no one's going to see the difference. All right. That being said, what I want to do here is I'm just going to put it in, pick a line, and I have a foot feed controlling this bead roller. So when I put my foot down, it rolls the rolls. So as I go into this, I just want to go, oh, I forgot what I was going to say. Squirrel. Okay, so if I put the bead roller in, the stuff in this way, it's going to put this bead up in the middle, which I want. Okay. If I put it in this way, I went to the other side. Now I'd be putting this middle down. I want the middle up. So when you go to do this, this is something again that you're going to want to do the same from piece to piece. So I am going to be moving this middle up. I just want more airflow in the exhaust, is why I'm choosing that. Oops. Second time around, we'll have to fix that little oopsie. I didn't turn the corner as fast as I pushed the foot feed. And that is one reason that I like to do multiple passes on everything that I do. I can smooth out corners and so on. I like increasing the depth of this with it running on one side, and I just kind of make sure that when I do this coming back, I go over that part that I tapered it on, and a lot of the time I taper it out over that. So this is the side that I tapered it in. So you can see how deep a creases we put in there. As you can see, I've changed the dies. Now, if I put this in the rollers this way, I'm actually going to be putting my bead roll down because of the impression here. And so I actually thought, you know what? If this has got warp to it and doesn't shape properly, I have a better chance of that bead roll vibrating against the muffler. So I flipped it around and I did some marking on the back of it because I want to have the bead roll up. You could technically turn the dies over. However, that would be probably a lot harder to see. So what I'm gonna do now is set this up, and I'm gonna do a single pass on these. Normally I like creeping up on any bead rolling I do. We just want to get a quick, nice bead in it. So I'm going to tighten this up till she's bottomed. I've counted that. And the thing about this is we're going to end up with a piece that's really warped in the end. Even though it's already warped, it's going to be worse with this. We are going to be able to solve that when we shape it. So what I want to do is make sure that this line lines up dead in the center there, or reasonably centered there. Probably went a little far, but whatever. Now we have some bead rolls lots of tension in this. It isn't going to matter once it's shaped and bolted on. But we have a problem that we're going to have to deal with these ends, which I have a creative solution for. Wow, kind of sad all the bead rolling's done. Other than fixing the ends, bead rolling is really satisfying. Okay, so this is a very cheap hole punch set. I bought a whole set of these, and the reason I bought these is to wreck them. So what I did is I took and I ground out the middle of this. And the reason that I ground that out is this makes a perfect moon shape to finish the end of the bead roll. I did dull this all off. I, in the past, never did that. And the problem that I had was it would almost cut through the material. So I dulled it up and I rounded these corners and came up with a bit of a technique that works really well. So let me show you what I got going on. So this is just here because I don't want to push this down any more than I need to. So it's just a backer. All I do is I line this up really nice eyeball with the end of where I want this. And then I tip it back. So if I have it square, I just tip it back a touch. And literally, we're gonna need another one or two. Literally, it's pretty easy. Got a little ahead of myself there. There we go. That looks good. I probably hit it one too many times there now. If I was doing this somewhere where someone was going to see this every day, I'd probably spend a little bit more time on that. Take my time, ease into it a bit, but we are just making a shroud above the muffler. So I'm just going to go quick, run this in the brake, and then we'll shape it up. This is my shrinker stretcher. This is what we're going to be using next. So what it does is when I push the pedal, these jaws grip the metal and squeeze it together. And being aluminum, this is going to move like butter. I have the shrinking die in. This is a stretching die. I don't really care to show you what that does other than this on here. If you see, it's got really grippy little teeth that grab that metal, and these ones here spread it so you can see it works with a wedge. And so when it squishes together, this one spreads and these ones here squish. We have to curve this metal. So when I take and I have this marked out at 1 inch increments, and if I take and I squeeze that together, it's gonna squeeze this end more than this end. So it's gonna pull this into a curve. Let me show you. This being aluminum, it's gonna move a bunch. I'm not sure how much it's gonna move. I don't have a stop on the bottom of the pedal. This is gonna be done by feel, and I have the mufflers right behind me so I can just turn and fit them. But what I'm gonna do is, I know this needs to be curved more, so I'm gonna give a little bit of a test bend on here. And so I have that roughly at the 1 inch mark. Ooh, and yeah, that is just wanting to bend. So I'm just gonna give this whole thing a tiny bit of a curve. And the nice thing about aluminum, really easy to work with by hand. So if we take and have this curved too much, and you know, I wish I would have shown you, this thing was kind of a tin can, still is. We're going to be able to solve that with this. But if we end up bending this too much, it's going to be easy to flatten out, which I think I just did here because I'm jibber jabbering instead of paying attention to what I'm doing. Yeah, just looking at it, I can see this is bent too much. It's bent more than what that muffler is going to be. So literally, being aluminum, you can just straighten it back out. The curve in the middle is absolutely beautiful. Now I'm just going to curve these ends, and I'm going to actually go in between a little bit so it is a more consistent looking bend. I'm going to have to go more than that, I can tell. So the rest of this is fighting it. I'm going to curve this end too right away. And I'm just going to get this contour so I can eyeball across. And I do have to say this is a really cheap shrinker stretcher. So if anyone wants to donate a nice shrinker stretcher, you know, I won't refuse. I really won't. Now that I see where we're going with that side, I can get a little more aggressive on this side. So you can see this here now. These bends are holding it from bending. So I literally am going to be taking and hand moving this. I'm going to carry on with this progress, but you can see our tin can is no longer a tin can because of those end bends. Okay, here's what happens when you get a little cocky. Oopsies. So what I have here is a crack, and I can explain to you what happened is normally when you're working aluminum and you're doing a bunch of stuff to it, you anneal it. So you heat it up and you basically soften the material. Well, aluminum, I didn't do that first of all, and aluminum work hardened. So with me putting it through the shrinker, I work hardened this, and then what I did is I went what I thought was a little bit too far, and I was getting a little aggressive bending it back. I should have left it alone. I'll probably end up just tacking that up a little bit. I don't know, we'll see what it's like when the bolts are on, but that's starting to fit really nice. This side's a little higher, which is the intent, because this side is protecting from the valve cover. So that's where we're at. I'm going to keep fitting on this. It needs a little bit more, and then we'll figure out how to attach it, and I am going to be working on the other side. Oops, I did it again. Okay, well, I'm going to have to deal with that. This is the cover for the other side. That one is looking great. It's ready to get put into the car. Now, this is all marred up and yucky. What's going to happen with these is when the exhaust is done, I'm going to get those mounted on. First, I'm going to weld this all out. And then when the car goes for paint, that's when we're going to polish all this and repair all this. This is going to get brush finished. This is going to get polished. And we'll end up with a beautiful little exhaust system. Hey, I just want to thank you for joining us while we built these heat shields for this exhaust. Everyone's busy, and you took time out of your busy day to hang out with me while I did this. The cool thing is these videos don't just stop with a couple little covers. It's part of a build series on the Corvair, and so I'm hoping you'll check that out. It is a whole series, hopefully to help motivate you, start to finish, build a hot rod. And so please check that out as well. Please like, share, and subscribe. And you know what? Give me some comments of what you think.